Regional Authority. I'd like to welcome everyone to our webinar on how to utilize the new Today's Delta online research tool. We have on with us our federal co-chairman, Chris Massengill, who will give some opening remarks, and then I will begin the demonstration of the Today's Delta. So, Chairman Massengill, without further ado.
Thank you, Spencer, very much. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking time to be on the webinar to get a better sense of this, what we think is an incredibly important tool. It's a valuable tool that we hope that you all utilize. One of the things that you've heard me talk about before, I hope, is that we wanted DRA to be the one-stop shop, the one place where you could come to get all information about the Delta region. One of the things that we've learned in the course of the 15 years of being here is that trying to find research information, trying to go to that one place where it's all collected is very difficult. You've got to go to 100 different sources. You got to sort through 100 different data sets. You got to sometimes even hire expensive consultants and researchers to go through the information or to even help you understand what we're looking at, and then put it into some fashion where it can be useful and relevant to what you're doing, either if you're trying to go after other resources or put together a local strategic plan or just have an understanding of what's happening in your local community. So one of the things we've wanted to do is to be that source of information for our communities, our practitioners, and our leaders in the Delta region. We started with the printed version of Today's Delta, and then with the wonderful help of Jim Youngquist and his team at the Institute for Economic Advancement here in Arkansas, we were able to make this commitment, and we're going to maintain this commitment to make sure this information is relevant, that it is updated, that it is useful. We recognize that the need for data is so important in this competitive climate, in this environment with restricted resources, and we need to make sure that we are addressing those issues that face our communities in the Delta region. And we've taken a renewed focus and coordination efforts on making sure you have the right information so you can impact those policies and investments. The irony is oftentimes from my perspective that people don't know the full story about Delta communities. They only hear one factoid, and it doesn't really reflect what's really happening at the level. And we need so much more to support and change, and that good data is often difficult to find and understand and then to process once you get it. And so we've recognized that struggle for obtaining data that paints the right picture, the accurate picture of the challenges, successes, and opportunities of our families and communities. So this is an effort to do that. This version that we're talking about here is the online version where you can have access to it online. You can search in between counties and different indicators, and it's much more user-friendly in that effort. So it's our effort to compile that data that tells our story. We want it to be helpful to you. We want to hear your feedback because we want community leaders and local elected officials and practitioners to be able to use this for other grants, to go after other federal and state programs, foundation resources, and again, that strategic and economic development. So I'm excited about this. This has definitely been one of our major goals. And again, I want to say thank you to Jim Youngquist and his team at the Institute for Economic Advancement. And please give us your feedback. We want this to be useful to you, and we want it to be helpful in your endeavors to grow our communities and to grow our economy. So thank you all very much. You know, you can always reach me if you ever have any questions. My cell number is 501-772-9686. Please don't hesitate to call. And we're thinking about you. We're still committed to helping create jobs, build communities, and improve lives. So with that, Spencer, I'll turn it back over to you, and I appreciate your work.
Great. Thank you, Chairman. So we'll then proceed directly into the demonstration. A few housekeeping comments. Everyone is currently on mute for the presentation, and then once the demonstration is over, we will take questions from those of you on the webinar. If you do have a question, please, there's an icon on the left of your control panel that looks like a hand. If you click that hand, it will signify to me that you have a question, and at that point I will unmute your line so that you can ask your question. Please feel free to ask any questions. If there are any that I cannot answer, we are taking notes, and I will follow up with you and the participants directly. We will also be, from these webinars, be compiling a frequently asked questions document that will exist on the Today's Delta page. Additionally, if you don't want to ask your question via audio, or you do not have your audio prepared through the control panel, you can type a question into the question box, and we will receive those as well. So without further ado, into the demonstration, I want to start where really everyone has to start, and that's at dra.gov. As many of you know, we launched a new website in dra.gov in January, and we have quickly been expanding it out to be as good a resource for the Delta region as possible. So when you get to dra.gov, one of the initial ways you can get to the Today's Delta research tool, so you go down here to our 9 navigator medallions, and you can click on the Today's Delta medallion right here. We have prioritized Today's Delta as one of our medallions because we want to make sure people have direct access, and it is easily utilized and accessed. So when you get to the page, you see that there's an example, there's an explanation of what Today's Delta is. We have available for you to view the print publication that Chairman Massengill mentioned. This was released earlier this year in April, and this is kind of what we see as the physical implementation of this research tool. And when you click on View Today's Delta print publication, it will actually take you to an online viewing space where you can easily scroll through Today's Delta. You can zoom in to read. You can search for different statistics. But this is a great tool to take with you to meetings and such when you can't access the online research tool. You can also download it off our website right here. So I want to make sure that everyone's aware that the print publication is available. And we are happy, we have a few leftovers. We are happy to ship some to someone if they are interested. Just send me an email at slucker@dra.gov. That's SLUCKER @dra.gov. So moving into the tool, so you can see here there is the interactive map. This map is available on a desktop. Like if you're on your computer or on your laptop, you can access the map. The Today's Delta is also available on your mobile phone, and we have the website designed to where it is very easily read and accessible on your mobile device. The only difference with the mobile app is that, or the mobile website, is that you cannot see the map, and that's just because right now it would be too big. But so you can access the map online. As you see, there are the different regions of the research tool. So you can select, what are the national statistics for something, and then you can select what are the DRA footprint statistics. What are the statistics for all of the counties within our 8 states but are not within the DRA footprint? So you can compare those three regions all against each other. You can select different regions within the state. You can select state totals and compare state totals with DRA region within that state and and counties that are not within that state, as you can see here. And then the best part about this tool is you can actually narrow down to the county level to select different counties to compare, or just to see one county's statistics when it comes to demographic data, economic data, educational attainment, such as that. And by selecting those, you're clicking on the individual counties, or you're clicking on the language in the legends around the map. So what does that do when you're clicking on those states? So you saw that it populates here in the box. What it does when you select these is it brings up the statistics for those selected regions down here. So I'm going to do a few examples of ways that someone might utilize this. So say you want to compare 4 different counties within the DRA region. You're looking at cross-border partnership, you're looking at a big regional project, and you're wanting to look at different counties and how they compare economically and demographically. So say we click, we want to look at the major metropolitans in the region. So you want to look at Pulaski County, where Little Rock is, let's say Rankin County, which is part of the Jackson, Mississippi metropolitan. You're looking at East Baton Rouge, which is part of the Louisiana Capital Metro. And then let's look at Shelby County here, where Memphis is. So when you select those 4 counties, you can come down here and you can see the cross comparison of these 4 counties. So you can look at the population statistics right here that are expanded. If you do not want to look at population and you want to look at education specifically, you simply click the minus sign right there. It will collapse that, and then you can open up by clicking the plus sign to see educational attainment, and you can compare Pulaski County with Rankin County, East Baton Rouge Parish, and Shelby County by attainment of graduate and professional degrees, bachelor's degrees, etc. If you want to look at how these 4 counties and parishes compare across all indicators, you can click this expand all, and it will show you easily scrollable all of the indicators that you can compare these counties and parishes by. And then in order to make them smaller again and just see the list of the 6 categories of indicators, you just click collapse all right there. Some other examples of comparisons that you might want to do. You might want to look at one county and how it compares to to its regions within the state as well as the state as a whole. So you might look at, let's say, Franklin County up in Illinois. You would go up here, you would click on the county, the Franklin County until it's highlighted. Then you would go to, let's see how it compares to other DRA counties in Illinois as a whole. So you would click on Illinois DRA, you would click on the state as a whole, and let's say nationally. How does Franklin County compare? You would come down, you have Franklin County, Illinois, Illinois DRA, Illinois total, and US total. And you can see, based on these indicators, the comparison of how, what really the story is of Franklin County when it comes to economics, demographics, education, poverty, and health. Again, you can scroll through and you can see easily the comparison. And so to unclick this. Another point about this tool is you might say, well, what happens when you don't have the map? Well, we have a great search tool right here where when you click on it, and this happens when you click on the mobile device as well, it will pull up this list and you can easily type in, say, Franklin County, and you see that it brings up the options here. And you can click on Franklin County, Illinois there. You could type in US total to get the US total. You can type in Illinois DRA and Illinois total. And that is how you can do it on the mobile app as well, and it will do the same thing as it did in me clicking on the map up here. The final great piece about this tool is what happens when you want to take it with you. You've done some good research. You've identified some good indicators to compare your county to other counties in other parts of the region, other states, and your state as a whole. What do you do next? So we have an option for you to print or to make a PDF of the comparison that you're looking at, and then to be able to print it or save as a PDF for future use. So let's look at another scenario. Say we want to compare different DRA regions within, or different states within the DRA region. So we want to compare Kentucky DRA counties with Illinois DRA counties and Missouri DRA counties and Arkansas DRA counties. So you have this here. You can see the comparison again, and when you click print, say you consider this to be comparison of northern DRA states. Although as an Arkansan, I wouldn't consider us northern. So you would type that in, click OK, and it will bring up a 4-page PDF of all the statistics 3-page PDF of all of the statistics that you sourced. So you have the title right here. You have all of the indicators and the comparisons. And then down here, I know that we wanted to make this very user-friendly for educators, students, researchers, the media. So you will also have a source line that automatically populates the last day retrieved, so that you have the source ready for any bibliography a student might be developing for an article that that the Clarion Ledger is writing, so that the writer can accurately source the material, and then you can obviously save or print that document. Let me get out of this. And so those are the major aspects of the tool. Again, let me collapse all of these. And again, it's the exact same thing on a mobile phone. We don't have an app, but you would access it the exact same way by going to dra.gov/today's delta, going to dra.gov and clicking on the Today's Delta medallion, and you'll be able to receive the similar information. Okay, so the last piece I wanted to identify is that we have created a short link or shortcut URL to where if you type in dra.gov, as you see here, dra.gov/today's-delta, it will take you directly to the web page. And just to highlight that today's does not have an apostrophe in it, and there's a dash in between today's and delta. So dra.gov/today's-delta takes you right back here to this great online research tool. So I believe that's the whole of my presentation. So I wanted to open it up for questions. I know we have a few coming in over the question box. So I will start with those first. So first question is there an online user manual? From Gordon Waller. And Gordon, there is not currently an online user manual. Honestly, that's a great idea. And we will begin working on that so that we can have that available. And that is exactly why or part of the reason why we're hosting these webinars. But so Gordon, we will have that up, and I will make sure to send that to you as well, so that you can distribute once it's available. Next question is, where would we find the timeline and source of the data? And so that's a good question. The timeline for the data is actually available in the publication, but it would probably be helpful to have it on the page. So we will add that as well. But this data it depends on the different data groups. So some of them are from census data. So like the persistent poverty information or statistics are based on 20-year analyses of the particular counties, and that's from, I believe, USDA's Economic Research Service. but then others are from the American Community Survey that the U.S. Census Bureau does over 4 years. There are a number of different sources, and so we can add that in. I realize that that is not available on the online tool, but is in the publication. So we will add that in, onto the website. Okay, and we have a question from Sandra Redman. Sandra, you have been unmuted if you'd like to ask your question. Sandra, are you there? Okay, Sandra might be having some audio difficulties. If you can, Sandra, type in your question, and we'll address your question through the question box. Question from Courtney Young: is there a way to compare more than 4 regions at a time? So currently there is not. Part of this is based on size and just space on the page. But what I would, and I don't foresee us being able to expand that at this time, just due to the website and the capacity of the website. However, part of the great thing about the print and save as tool is that it allows you to do, say you wanted to get comparisons of all 8 states within our region, then you could do the first 4, alphabetically: Alabama, Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, print and save that data, and then do it for Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, and Tennessee, and print or save that data as well, and it will, and you'll have it available for comparison. But like I said, unfortunately, that's just, it's a limit of capacity for the website. Any other questions? Sandra, I'm going to see if we can get your audio working again. Sandra, you are unmuted. Do you have a question?
My question had to do with the one that was asked by the previous attendee.
How you can compare more than 4 regions?
No, the online instructions.
Oh, the online, yes, okay. So we answered your question?
That's correct.
Good deal. Okay, thanks for being on, Sandra.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions? So question from Gary Suddeth. Can you compare counties outside of the region? That's a very good question, and you can. So you can also click counties that are in gray. So as you can see, the blue counties are DRA counties and parishes. Gray counties are all those within our states that are outside. And you can compare the counties and parishes outside of the region with counties and parishes inside. So say you wanted to compare Winston and Neshoba County with Jasper and Smith County. You can click on those and compare those as well. Any other questions? Okay, I believe if there are no other questions, we'll go ahead and, oh, sorry, one more question came in. Could you provide your email and telephone info in case we have questions? Absolutely. So again, my name is Spencer Lucker. My phone number is 202-434-4842. That's my office line that comes directly to my cell phone. Feel free to call me if you have any questions. Also, my email is slucker@dra.gov. That's S as in Spencer, L-U-C-K-E-R @dra.gov. Additionally, we'll be sending a follow-up email after this webinar with a link to the recording of the webinar, as well as the link and any other additional resources. And so in that email, we'll have my contact information as well. And again, I encourage anyone and everyone to email me. We're really excited about launching this tool. This is something that I've been on board with DRA for over about 3.5 years now, and we've been working on this ever since I came on. And the publications have been great and I know very useful for people and practitioners. However, this online tool we think will really expand the accessibility of this information for our local stakeholders. Another question came in. Can you post examples of how the tool is being used, such as sample reports folks have used? We can do that. That's a great idea, Gordon. And what I would ask of y'all on the webinar is, when you're using this and you identify a really good comparison, or how you've been able to use it accurately, and it's really helped you in working on a project, please shoot those examples over to me. Shoot the PDF over to me, and I'd be happy to post them, because I think that's a great idea in order to help people feel comfortable with usage of the tool, as well as to understand exactly how to use it. But we will also work on examples that we've used, because honestly, we did this for our stakeholders, but I and my team use this tool as well. I mean, I carry around a Today's Delta publication everywhere I go, because we do utilize it to ensure that we're conveying the right story, and we also understand what our region looks like when we're in many of our communities. Another question: can you compare data by local development district? Coming from Kelly Sinclair, one of our LDD leaders. And Kelly, to answer your question, you cannot currently compare data across LDD. However, that is part of our phase 2 implementation of the tool. We wanted to get the county and parish and regional comparisons ready to go first. However, in continuing our partnership with IEA and the developers of this tool and the research, they are currently working on identifying this by local development district as well as congressional district. So those will be coming in the near future. And then can Mr. Massengill repeat his telephone number? Yes, so Chairman Massengill's phone number is 501-772-9686, and you can also you can also connect with him via his email, which is cmassengill. That's MASSING. I'm sorry, it's CMAS, one S, INGILL @dra.gov. So feel free to email either him or me, or call one of us, and we'd be happy to help. And if there are no other questions, I don't want to keep you all longer than our webinar. It's 10 o'clock. But thank you, everyone, for joining this call. We really see this as a great opportunity to provide the appropriate information and provide access to good data about our region and our communities to our community leaders, economic developers, students and educators, grant writers, researchers, the media, and anyone else who could utilize this to help grow the Delta economy. So thank you so much. We'll be following up with an email. We have a webinar next Wednesday at noon Central Time, noon to 12:30. Please encourage your colleagues to join us for that webinar. You can register online by going to dra.gov/todays-delta and clicking on Wednesday, September 2nd to register. And we hope that you will utilize this great tool, and please send us examples. So thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day.